Hi everybody, this is Speed Force Spector
Matt Cat 83 from Geek What?
and this is the first technical actual episode 1 of Fandom Is Magic.
Right on. Okay, you guys. So for the first thing that we want to talk about is that Chris Pratt is voicing Garfield in this new animated feature that they're doing, and this is coming from you from the Hollywood Reporter. So, if you guys don't know Garfield, he is an animated cat, and he has his dog Pluto that he lives with and everything.
That that's
Um,
that's Mickey Mouse.
oh, that's yeah. What's his dog's name? What's the
Odie.
dog? Yeah. Sorry. So this is going to be released by Sony Pictures, and the script is being written by David Reynolds, and he wrote Finding Nemo. And this is going to be directed by Mark Dindal, if I'm saying that correctly, and he directed Chicken Little. Did you see Chicken Little?
I did that. I have mixed feelings about that. I think I could be wrong, but I think he did Cats Don't Dance.
Oh, did he? Right on. It
I
doesn't say
think
that
so.
in an
Be.
article. I didn't look him up either. um, I happen to like Chicken Little. I thought it was a super fun movie. But yeah, so basically, he is just going to be voicing the latest iteration of Garfield. And I don't know how do you feel about Garfield? Do you like Bill Garfield?
Yeah, I like funny meme lasagna cat.
Right on. Now, Bill Murray did voice this character when they did the live action, kind of animation mixture movie. And then he also did that in the sequel, and that was in 2004 and then 2006. Did you watch those movies?
I did. That was like both of those movies were like my childhood.
Oh, right on. See, I had the cartoon, like the animated cartoon. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Um,
I recently watched Garfield and Friends for the first time because it's on Tubi, and I quite enjoyed it. I need to watch more of it, but it's really good.
right
Because
on. Yeah, I was.
as a kid, for some odd reason, the old Garfield cartoons were like very hard to find on VHS or DVD for me for some odd reason. So I'm glad Tubi at least had that.
Right on. Yeah, I just watched them straight on the TV when they aired. How do you feel about Chris Pratt getting this job as the voice of Garfield? Are you pro Chris Pratt, against Chris Pratt? I know there's a lot of
It's
of
okay. It's one of those things because before this we had the Mario news. And the thing about that one is just it's so left field because the actual Mario voice actor, like the man's still around, so and he could easily make it work. So and then like Chris actually needs like a acting coach because like I think he said this on like his Instagram live or something, but like he needed an acting coach to do Mario, which for me that's
hmm,
kind of like a red flag already. Like he could have just gotten the original voice actor to do it instead of that. So that was kind of a red flag there. For Garfield, it's just kind of you have like the cartoon voice, which I've seen like I said, like I've watched half of Garfield and Friends. Um and then Bill Murray was like a pretty decent. I personally like the cartoon voices a bit better. Um but it's one of those things where it's like so left field that I'm just like I don't know. So it's just it like Chris Pratt doesn't shout out Garfield to me.
right
And it
on.
and like for both Mario and Garfield, it's one of those things where it's like he did a good job for Emmett. I haven't watched Onward, but I've heard kind of mixed things about Barley. So it's definitely one of those things where he has to be really truly in his element. These two feel like it's just way too out of his element to do. And it's one of those things where it's like, you might as well should have just got in like an actual voice actor who's been doing the gig for like a good couple of years or so. Because it's Garfield. Everyone knows Garfield. You don't really need to be like, hey, this person's voicing Garfield. It's like for Super Pets, because we talked about that last video, like I would understand it a bit more because not a lot of people know of crypto because not a lot of people didn't grow up on that cartoon and this could be a person's first introduction to the character. So actually talking, because you got Titans where it's just a normal dog. So it's one of those things where it's like you could have just sold it on Garfield alone.
Right on. I have to say, I like Chris Pratt. I thought he did a good job in those Lego movies, and
Yeah, that's what I was bringing up earlier. Like he's in
right
his
on.
element when it's like that, but like this just feels too kind of out of his element.
Yeah, I also liked him in Onward. I thought he did a good job. I do enjoy his work. So I mean, we'll see how he does as Mario though. You know, and maybe he won't do so great, and then I'll be like, oh, maybe he shouldn't voice Garfield. So, yeah, all right. So, what was the next thing you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so this one doesn't have an article or anything. It was during Fandom, and I wanted to save it for this. They just kind of randomly, like some lady was like, "Here's all the things we're doing," and it was just kind of it went by so fast. But one of the things was a CGI Super Sons movie.
Right on.
What what,
Um,
what do you think about that?
I think it'll be interesting to see it. I wonder how they're gonna do it as far as like age wise. Are they gonna have Jonathan Kent
Yeah,
be
that's what I
a
was curious about too.
yeah? Because if they have him be a little kid, I'm cool with it. But if they have him be like, because like in the comic books, he grew very
Yeah,
fast, very quickly, and I don't like that with Damian Wayne because then it just seems a little weird, like this older kid with this younger kid. Even though Wayne is a little bit of a jerk. But I mean, I'll watch it. I like Damian Wayne a lot. He's pretty cool. Jonathan, though, I don't really. I've read those comic books. I don't really enjoy them that much. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't really enjoy them that much. So I mean, we'll see. But I'll watch it if it's good. I'll praise it up and down. What about you? What do you think?
So in terms of comic wise, I only touched those weird novel. Well, they're not weird, but it was like a graphic novel series for young readers.
Mm-hmm.
And like Damien went by like Ryan or some weird
Mm.
name or something. I don't remember what it was called, but it was under the Super Sons acronym.
Oh, okay.
And I enjoy their interactions in terms of that book. Um, but I'm definitely curious if it's for kids or for teenagers. Personally, I would like if it was for kids, just mostly because currently speaking, in my opinion, like DC kids, either like animated movie wise, theatrically, because we don't know if it's theatrical or straight to TV/DVD. I think they kind of, in terms of right now, they definitely need more in that department because like a new Lego straight to DVD DC film hasn't been released in a good while, and the
Right
only thing
on.
we have right now is like Teen Titans Go. So they definitely need more for the family department than anything because they're pretty fine in like the teenager and older audience in terms of animation.
Right on. Speaking of animation, what kind of style do you think would best fit these characters?
Since they said it was CGI, I'm definitely curious as to what direction they'll go since we don't have any promo images or anything like that. So I'm definitely curious. But if it was me, I would have definitely would have went with 2D.
Oh, right
Just
on.
because I felt like because like I feel like you could really make a cool stylized movie with it. Not to say you can't do it with CG, but since we don't know if it's straight to DVD or theatrical, it's kind of very much up in the air. So I think 2D, if it was me, 2D would have been pretty stylized and fun in my opinion.
Right on. Do you think they should do more of like a more realistic looking CG, or do you think they should do more like a cartoonish kind of like
More cartoon and stylized because nothing against like realistic, but I think it could work dynamically for the characters because Damien and Jonathan are like drastically different characters, so I think that would be a good contrast.
Right on. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check out this show or this movie. Sorry, it's a movie, not a show. But I'll definitely check it out. I mean, and if they put it on HBO Max, I'll definitely check it out because I have HBO Max. So, you know,
Same.
yeah, yeah, they have like the best content on HBO Max. Like they have all the DC stuff, so I love it. So, speaking of DC, did you want to talk about the next thing on our list of subjects to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nicole Sullivan posted this on her Instagram and it says, "Me and Supergirl together for the last time. It was such a blast voicing her for the past few years on DC Superhero Girls. And to my fellow cast members, Tara Strong, Gray Delisle, sorry if I screwed their names up,
Delisle.
Delisle, Kimberly Brooks, Carrie Walgreen, my yeah, that one. I love you all so much. So many laughs, so much talent." And then she did a whole bunch of hearts. Um, so you think that DC Superhero Girls is like done forever?
Okay, so since we don't have a concrete answer, for me personally, it's I don't know how I feel about this necessarily, but like I'm open to the idea. I don't know if like she's leaving and they're just gonna get a new voice actress to play Supergirl now, or potentially they could pull a Justice League Unlimited where she goes off with Brainiac and she's no longer on the show or something along those lines. So we don't really know if it's just one of those situations or it's just completely over. I'm
Right on.
more so leaning on the fact that it's completely over, just mostly because of how the treatment of this show has been very weird. Also, same with the merchandising, because the
Right.
dolls just kind of dropped
They
and
did.
they didn't get announced in waves, and it'd just be like, okay, here's this, and then like it'd be like 5 or 6 months, maybe a year, and it's like, oh yeah, we're dropping this, I guess. And then at one point they just kind of announced like a whole entire merchandise wave, and they're like, here, go to this website and buy it. And then the only thing that had like official news was like the graphic novels, which they've done that since 2015, and the video game. Those are
Right
the only
on.
things that got like actual announcements and when you could buy them and things like that. And then in terms of Cartoon Network and how they treated the show, they they had it, the premiere was on like a Friday at like a prime time. They tend to do earlier prime time, and it was at a good time slot. Then they moved it to Saturdays, and then it moved to Sundays where it stayed at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And then when season two hit, it moved to Sundays at 8 in the morning. So they kind of, Cartoon Network very much screwed the show over,
Right.
where you couldn't, you if you knew it was on, you would tune in, but if it wasn't in your radar at all, you wouldn't watch it. And
Right
they didn't
on.
have many commercials to really promote it. The only place the show really got an audience was in the US because it airs on US Netflix. So that's the only way this show really got watched. And in terms of the news of when this came out, season two, or like at least half of season two, is not released. So it barely got a foot in the door for more people to watch for season two. So it's been a while since they've updated new episodes on Netflix, because the way they operate on Netflix is kind of like how Power Rangers is now operating, where a couple of batch of episodes will air on Nickelodeon and then they'll air on Netflix.
So, first thing is, how do you feel if let's just pretend the show is done? How do you feel about that? Like, because I know I watch it with my kid, but I don't watch it on a regular basis and everything. But you're probably a much bigger fan than me. Um, although I do like the show when I do watch it, me and my kid, I'm always like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But real quick before you answer, I want to say about the doll thing. You're 100% right because I tried to buy that crap for my daughter when she first got into that stuff, and not only was it hard to find that stuff, I was all like, I don't even know what they make. And I was like, this is just a big mess. I was like, they could have done this a lot better. Like, you'd go to the store and I'm like,
Yeah, they did it better during the 2015 run of
yeah,
DC Superhero Girls. And it was like a lot, even though the later seasons in the waves, it got way too chaotic because they were just dropping dolls left and right. But in terms of when it first started, it was a lot more manageable and you knew when dolls were releasing.
yeah, because I tried to find the like action figures, the 6-inch ones, with like the new style that they have and not the older style or whatnot. Or no, it was the same style or whatnot, but it was harder to find that crap. And I was like, oh, this is a nightmare. I don't like it at all. And then finally I was just like, Amazon, click. So so how are you gonna feel if this show is like gone forever?
I feel like it got cut way too short,
Mm-hmm.
mostly because a recent episode kind of dropped a huge plot thing, and I don't know if like in terms of where the show is, like I don't know if that's gonna be resolved or not.
Right on.
Um, but I feel like there's like a lot of missed opportunities if it ends the way it is currently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if they manage to make a nice send off, then I'll be fine, but still disappointed.
I feel you. Um, do you like the style of the way the character's drawn, like the animation? Do you prefer season one or like now season two, like where it's like a completely different looking
I
show?
haven't seen season two, so I can't really speak, but from what I've
Hmm.
heard is during season two they changed the studio, and from what I've heard, it you can definitely tell that there was definitely a downgrade
Hmm.
from it. So I think that's kind of telling as to Cartoon Network and WB kind of pulling the plug on it. Which at the same time, I'm not too shocked this is going on, considering the fact that WB during that time, because in the show got announced in 2019,
Hmm.
WB was still going through the AT&T merger, and during that merger, like a lot of things got axed or canceled. Like Unikitty got lost in the shuffle, and that's why that show got canceled. It ended though, but it did get canceled though.
Right on.
So I'm not too shocked that this happened, but at the same time, things could have been way better for this show if Cartoon Network did it properly, and maybe if it was on HBO Max.
Right on. Um, do you think there's any chance that it will get saved on HBO Max?
The only way I could see it working is like if it, because the post she made, like she said she's done recording. So who knows? Like maybe in 2 years from now, they're like, "Oh, DC Superhero Girls is back in an all new straight to TV, straight to DVD movie." So they could easily do that, or they could easily just continue DC Superhero Girls in comics because they did that with the 2015 run. Like there was like no animated movie to send it off. It just continued in the comics and it just ended there. So I wouldn't be shocked if it continued either straight to DVD or comics. But if they don't do both, then yeah, this run definitely could have been handled better.
Right on. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to say about this?
Oh yeah, if it does get rebooted again, like wait a good couple years because both versions kind of just ended and then started all over again pretty close to one another. So if they're gonna reboot it again, just wait a good couple of years.
Right on. Um, question though. When it comes to okay, so was it just a web series when it was season one?
Okay, so what happened was they had it was a multimedia plan that they had all the way back in 2015. And what they did was before the show even premiered, they just had shorts. And then season one came out and there were like a couple of shorts during season one, but then they stopped with the shorts and then it just continued throughout season one.
Okay. Well, because just like the animation style is so different. And I'm like, and I know you just explained it, but I'm like, really? I'm like, what happened? Like
It's
this
not
is
too different from the. Oh, okay. That's the 2015 version.
okay. So then the one that is going on now, what is that one?
That one is the 2019 version.
Okay. Gotcha. And they're two totally different shows, or is that when they
Yeah, they're
like
yeah, they're different shows. They just have the same name.
mm,
And because I brought up the comics earlier, in like the last final issues, they brought up that the multiverse exists. So these are just two different multiverses.
oh, okay. All right. Well, okay, cool. I've seen both of them though.
But that version though, that one, it was there were just a whole bunch of shorts on YouTube,
Mhm.
but they did have movies. So the quality is definitely different from one another, but in the last couple of shorts, it definitely got a huge downgrade.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that was it.
All right. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for joining us in our little conversation and our Fandom is Magic episode number 1. Well, we hope you guys join us the next time we do this stuff because we really enjoy talking about like, animation and all that good stuff or whatever we decide to talk to. And yeah, so we will check you guys later. Bye.